absolutely beautiful astrology soulmates. It's me, Stormie Grace, and welcome to your weekly horoscope for the week of November 18th, where this is a big week. First of all, we've got the shifting energy of Pluto moving back into the vibration of Aquarius, really giving us, we're not dancing in and out anymore of this Capricorn vibration. It's the full story of Aquarius moving forward until 2044. So we have really got this 20-year shifting cycle energy up on our table, and we've seen previews of it, but now we're going to really officially enter into the arena to start to fully do that work. But the thing I think will help lift the week just a little bit is we are going to shift also out of Scorpio season, where we have really been in the deep, in the beautiful depth of things, in the really feeling intensity space of things, because we needed to see some things, and some of it was really enlightening, some of it was really cathartic, whatever it was. But now with the new truths and the new information that we have and things that we've garnered about ourselves, we're going to shift the sun into the sign of Sagittarius, which has a little bit more levity. It's a little bit more optimistic. It's like, okay, now I know some truths. Let me take them out and expand my horizons. Let me get my cute shirt, it's come out of wearing all the black and maroon, and let's put on some color and go out here and see the world. And this, I think, will also be a nice energy to guide some of our perspectives as we travel over the next 4 weeks. So we have a shifting energy kind of week on the table. There is a fair amount of intensity, and I'm going to tell you the end of this video at the beginning is this is really a time to dropping into the quiet for a minute, and as often as you need to take those minutes to really trust your intuition and walk forward, because you are invited to align with the innovation of what your intuition is showing you right now, right? What is it showing you that's different than it's been showing you for a very long time? Now, if you have not grabbed your 2025 digital transit calendars, please click in the description box down below and grab those from our friends at Wise Skies Collective, and they'll go along with your 2025 videos that are out. At the time of recording this, we should have all of the signs out. Virgo has been fixed, so my Virgo friends, I just couldn't put out a not absolutely perfect Virgo video of all of the signs. I feel like that's not the one you can do that with. So your Virgo video has been fixed. It is up, it is out. Aquarius and Pisces will be on the way for you by Monday. So make sure you check that out as well. And listen, I love to gather a good resource for us, okay? And if you are looking for some astrology, you want to be in the astrology world, you want to talk astrology, listen to astrology, but you need some chill. You need some real slow down, rest, relax. I found this really beautiful ASMR astrology channel. Go over and check it out. It's right here, Astro Haven ASMR. Go check that out, plug in. I highly suggest subscribing to that channel. It's a nice way to bring some calm. And if you don't know anything about ASMR, oh my gosh, head over, check out that channel. It's really, really kind of cool. And if you are ready to speak the language of astrology, we are starting the Astrology 102 course coming up in December. So make sure you get signed up for that. We are starting out with aspect patterns. So if you don't know those or you're not strong in those, that's what we will be going over. And we're heading towards transits. And of course, the entire class right now while the school is being built is $67 in the description box down below. Okay. All right, heading into this week, let's look first at our quote of the week. Our quote says, "The future depends on what you do today, but transformation requires us to also embrace the unknown of the now and the forever." Ooh, that's like a lot. Okay, let's look at our question this week that is going to guide us. How can you balance staying grounded in the present while also leaning into the future's potential for transformation? Let me know how this is resonating for you in the comment section down below. All right, heading into Monday, and the timestamps for every day are in the description box down below as well. Monday, November 18th. First of all, we're coming into Monday, coming off of a void of course moon that started on Sunday. So as we're coming in on Monday, our moon day, I want you to know that coming in the early hours, especially if you're up or if you are late night into Sunday when you're listening to this, the energy can feel a bit foggy. It can feel a little bit hazy, or you're a little bit aimless in some way. Am I going here? Am I going there? If that's a vibration that you're experiencing, I just want you to remember to let the energy just settle. Just let it be. It's not the time to be pushing through with projects, or certainly not the time to be starting anything new. Instead, allow this energy to just let you be reflective. Know that some of the aimlessness is not a function of something is necessarily wrong. It's just that the moon's not making any connection for you to reflect back off of. Now that will change, because when we get to 1:49 a.m., this is Mountain Time, Colorado time, the moon's going to shift into the vibration of Cancer. Okay, as the moon is traveling into Cancer, we're emotionally sensitive. We're checking in on what we need to do to nurture ourselves, what we need to do emotionally to nurture those people around us. What do we need to do to nurture our homes? Do I need to actually just do some cleaning? And that would bring a lot of nurturing into my space. And I also think about that this is your time to check in on if you are feeling bonded, right? Do you feel bonded to yourself? Are you one with you and yourself? Have you checked in on your parents? Who do you bond with that maybe is in your immediate environment, or maybe your parents, things like that? But the moon also is going to govern the people. So the moon at this time, the people are going to shift into a much more emotionally sensitive place. So as you're out in the day now on Monday, on Moon Day, it is just not a day for high pressure. We're not pushing. The more you push on people on Monday, the more responsive, because the moon is reactive, right? And you don't always like the reaction that's coming at you. So on Monday, just think about that. We're coming into Monday. Let's just answer the emails. Let's be gentle with each other. We can go for fire when we get to Wednesday, Thursday. Now, also on Monday, if you're bringing some delicious food into your life, think about the things that are watery. Watermelon, where we were in fall in the north, so some pumpkin, maybe a little cucumber. Think about those watery kind of delicious foods to bring in, okay? Now, we are also going to see on Monday that Mercury is going to come into an opposition with Jupiter. Okay, we get the planet of the smaller mind and the planet of the big mind coming into opposition, so they're pulling away from each other. Now, the cool thing is that this aspect is really good for bringing big ideas and really expansive thinking to something that you're going on. But what happens is you're thinking like too big, or you're thinking too many ideas. It's mushrooming out into too many things really, really, really fast. And that can have a very negative manifestation to it, right? You're over promising and you'll never actually be able to deliver that. There's lots of miscommunication going on. Mercury's already getting ready to head into its retrograde. So there is some disconnect going on with information at the moment anyways. Or you're jumping into something having not really considered the details. You're just not picking up all the information. So instead of making the opposition go tighter and tighter and tighter, or having a miscommunication with someone else on Monday, think about how we can integrate. Where are there small pieces of detail that you can listen to? And they also do support a big plan. And it's also like walking the two sides of the planets together so that they can meet somewhere in the middle. Because if we can integrate both the little mind and the big mind, this is going to be really useful. This is where we'll get some relief. So focus on your words. Words mean things here on Monday. What are you saying? And can you back up what you're saying? Is what you're saying in alignment with your honest to goodness truth, or the truth about something, a product or a service? And really avoid overextending yourself. If you're feeling a little tired, but the opportunity of a lifetime comes up and you're just too honest to goodness tired to take it on, I would really encourage you to reflect on that. Now, we're also going to have the sun come into a trine with Neptune, okay? Sun trine Neptune. The sun is still in Scorpio at this particular point, so it's a water trine with Neptune, who's over in Pisces. This aspect is going to encourage, first of all, creativity. Creativity, dipping into your spiritual connection, dipping into your emotions so that you can hear the guidance of your emotions and your intuition. You can literally hear your internal waters running and flowing and getting connected to that. It's an excellent aspect for anything creative. Anything having to do with meditation, anything having to do with connecting with spirit or yourself, right? So one of the things that you can think about doing at this time is, first of all, take on activities that make it so you can practice your intuition, right? My spiritual teacher, when I was really practicing honing, listening to what was my intuition versus my head versus some intrusive thought, she would have me spend the day going out and just walking. I would just walk, or I would go shopping, or I would do whatever. And everything I came in contact with, and as I was moving, I needed to listen for the next guidance, for the next movement I was supposed to take. It was a brilliant experience. And it was one that taught me the value of, first of all, what does the sound and the vibration of my honest intuition make as I'm listening to it and making decisions? And what is like some outer voice, right? And now as I'm going and I'm moving through the world, I can trust my intuition. But we don't just trust our intuition because we have it. It's a practice as well. So where can you look at being grounded this week and getting excited about what is to come into your life by first practicing trusting your intuition, by actually like lifting that spiritual intuitive muscle. This is a great aspect to be able to do that. Now, when we shift our energy into Tuesday, we're going to see that Mercury now comes into a trine with Chiron, who's over in Aries, okay? So this is the aspect of the mind, the smaller mind, and how we communicate, coming into an opportunity or an easy aspect with Chiron, our wounded healer. But Chiron is also our teacher, right? From the wound, from the healing is where I can teach. So this is a day where I would say there is healing in our communication is what we can use on Tuesdays. Have conversations that feel like there's medicine in them. Share conversations that are insightful, and it's insightful from your experience, not from your opinion. Offer forgiveness where maybe you've been denying it. Receive and accept forgiveness where it's needed to be extended to you, right? Whatever it is, there's a deeper emotional clarity that comes through as we're in the dance of communication with this energy. But we're going to need it because later in the day, we see Pluto moving back for the long stead into the vibration of Aquarius, okay? It's a monumental thing. This is really big. And if you've been feeling the pressure of the shifting energy and the being between this and the between that and not really knowing where to put yourself and just the intensity of the vibration, this is definitely, I think, in part, attributed to this Pluto and Aquarius movement. We're literally changing as a world. We're going into a whole new vibration together where we're all being asked to shift together. And what that can feel like is fear, right? It can feel really fearful. I'm fearful of those in power. I'm fearful of technology. I'm fearful of whatever house or area of your chart this is lighting up. And it can be a resistance. I'm resisting change because of fear, or I just have this resistance to what is going on. So I want you to know that Tuesday, not only is it a Mars day, so we're already here under a Martian energy, a do something, open for conflict kind of energy. But now we've got this massive monumental shift of energy that's happening as well. And we need to be able to navigate that. And when we also think about, I'll do a whole separate video on Pluto coming back into Aquarius so that the weekly doesn't end up being 6 hours long. But when we think about what we're coming from, this transition of Pluto's journey through Capricorn, where we were really looking at something that was very structured, our authority, our traditions, things like these that have been solid stories or solid structures that have been in place for a very long time. What we were also looking at was life under Capricorn is a very high feminine energy. Capricorn is a feminine energy. So we got to look at the things and the corruptions that needed to be undone in society, in ourselves, where we have fallen short, where we've monopolized our own energies, where things have been monopolized in our world and in our communities. And now as we're going to shift into this Aquarian vibration, first of all, we shift containers. We come into a high masculine vibration, okay? So we're going to see that, first of all, feminine energy will be invited to bloom in a masculine container. So I want you to be thinking about this and what does that mean for you, where you're going to start to dismantle stories of hierarchies that have been in place for you. And some of them are the ones that your society told you, but you also put in place yourself, and it has kept you from connecting with whatever your feminine vibration is and letting that live. Now, collectively, we're all going to be undoing that together. And what does it mean to live in community with your own body and thus bring that community and that space out into the world, to the greater community as well? So this shifting energy here on Tuesday, it really just, it is massive. One of the other things I wanted to say is that we will definitely, we've already been experiencing the rise and the transformation of the world with AI and with technology, and we will continue to see that. And something that continues to come up in the comments, and I want to address it now, is this idea that AI is going to overtake us and leave humans behind. And what I want to say is I don't necessarily follow that belief scheme. What I see looking at Pluto in Aquarius is that the people who are learning to responsibly leverage technology or to use technology in their everyday are going to leave behind the people who are staying in the resistance to change. So I think this is something to consider. You know, some of these aspects were under these, we saw this at the Industrial Revolution when people said, I will absolutely not use the machines. And the machines are still here. The shifting energy of those machines we're still under at this particular time. So it's just something I wanted to give you to consider, a little bit of perspective. But like I said, I'll do a full video on this if you guys are interested in it. On Wednesday, so that we can get on with the week, on Wednesday here, the 20th, we're coming in. First of all, we've got the moon shifting void, of course, from 4:19 a.m. to 6:50 a.m., again, Mountain Time. So in the morning time, the energy is slow. It's low, not having a heavy reflection. Avoid making any really big decisions if you can. Just take it easy. Let yourself have a break. After that, we'll see the moon shift into the vibration of Leo. So now we've got the moon in fire. Okay, confident energy. Say it with your chest out. What do you need to express? Where do you need to create? Is there something that you need to step into with the heart of a leader, the heart of a Leo, where you need to go first? You need to lead the way. If you're feeling more drawn on Wednesday, or there's a conversation that you needed to have and you need to be able to express yourself strongly, Wednesday is a great day for that. The moon in Leo is going to help you to, first of all, Leos they will roar at you, but for the most part, it's a pretty warm, friendly connection. And it's really something very authentic. So if you have something to present or something that needs to be talked about, I think that Wednesday is a phenomenal day to do it. Now, we'll carry that moon energy of a fire moon into Thursday as well, while we welcome the sun into fire as well. So happy birthday, Sagittarius. Come Thursday, the 21st. Happy birthday. The sun shifting into Sagittarius, collectively, we come into an energy that is optimistic, it's expansive, it's curious, it wants to know the truth. And now that it knows some other truths, it wants to expand on that truth that it knows. It wants to explore philosophies and have faith. We're having an exploration of faith in this energy. But the way that we go on these journeys and these expanded explanations over the next 4 years is that we do the things. I have to live my philosophy to find out what my philosophy really is. I have to go to the particular place to see what they really have in that store. It's a very expanded energy. But the thing is to take advantage of how optimistic that can be and how expansive that can be. We have to go to it as well. We have to spark our own curiosity. Now, as we are shifting here in the world and the global view, I think that this particular next couple days, things that we might see peaking up a lot more will have to do with, of course, religious things. And that's always, in the global news, but things really focused, especially I think in the United States, on something having to do with education. But it's like religion and education or some kind of standing philosophy become a major piece of discussion as we're going to see it from this point of the week on. So this is really kind of an interesting week. I'm curious about what global initiatives will be put out when we shift into Sagittarius season, because that's definitely an expansion out as well. Okay, we're also behind that going to see now that the sun comes into a sextile with Pluto, who's gotten back into the vibration of Aquarius. And when it's forming a sextile, it's going to create not only the pocket of opportunity, but we're intelligently taking action on it. So it's safe to say that Thursday is an action day. And this aspect is powerful, because what you can do is you can have massive transformation that comes underneath this. The sun is motivated for this exploration. Pluto is changing the landscape of what's going on. It's changing the heart. It's pulling things away. So first of all, allow this to get you in alignment with some inner strength, some inner endurance that you have. And the space that I think you come from is very Sagittarian. I'm happy to be on board with change, however resisting I may be going with it. But it needs to have a purpose. Like, I'm not just making changes or creating chaos for the sake of noise. I'm doing it because there's a very meaningful purpose. And I'm empowered to do so because I own my opinion. I own my experience. I am willing to shed old patterns in order to embrace what's new and what's coming up. It's a really interesting, powerful energy. Now, in a very negative way, this is going to be an aspect I would tell you to just really watch. Are you making changes? Are you making noise for the sake of distraction, for the sake of making noise? Are you doing it to be manipulative, to try and get something to be your way, as opposed to focusing on your own personal growth, right? What doesn't serve me anymore? I don't need to go back and forth with you in this conversation. We've had it. I'm not changing, you're not changing, this is not serving me anymore, it's time to move forward in whatever context that may be for you, right? So keep me posted in the comment section down below, especially as we get to Thursday. How is this playing out? Where are you seeing these signatures for you on Thursday? Friday is going to bring us to a Venus and Saturn sextile. Again, a pocket of opportunity, but we're intelligently taking action. So we are in motion. And Venus-Saturn here, this is stability. Stability to those relationships, stability to those finances, stability to your values, which makes a lot of sense. We've had some healing conversations earlier in the week where it's like, I've already hurt in this way, you've already hurt in this way, let's talk about our hurt, and we do it in a way that's very productive, maybe, or we're just airing the table out, right? And then we're here on Thursday and we're under this Sun-Pluto aspect where it's like, I don't need to go back and forth. I don't need to keep considering if this is in alignment. I need to trust that it is or it is not. And this brings some stability. Right? This brings the trusting, that intuition, and I get some stability here. Now, whenever Saturn gets involved as well, I think that it's fair to say it's a day where we make commitments and take on commitments without necessarily having to be forced, especially because Saturn is direct already, right? So set up some goals today. What are some commitments you'd like to take on, and what are practical steps you can take to allow you to really flourish in those particular commitments? Do you need to sign a contract today? You're taking that job. You're signing the contract to lease the house. You're buying the car. You're going to actually take the class. You're going to study. You're going to make that plan to get out of debt or to build that wealth. You know, what is it? Make sure that you serve yourself very well on this day and make solid, practical plans that make sense to you to build the value of this particular aspect. Okay, as we are getting just beyond that, so we're going to go from 6:14 a.m. and this is going to go all the way until 4 p.m. Mountain Time. This is a very long void of course moon. Okay, so when we get the very long void of course moon times, remember, first of all, it can feel really disorienting. The head games can kick on like crazy. You can find yourself challenging yourself. Am I even a person? You know, that sounds funny, but we ask these questions. Am I in the flow? What's wrong? It's like you're trying to get something to reflect back to you to tell you everything's okay, and you can't get it to happen. And again, that's why I think looking at how much the energy is changing and shifting this week, why it's really important to be tapped in to your own center so that 100 times in 30 minutes, if you need to come back to it, you can, and you can say, I'm okay, I'm right now, I'm here right now, my head's where my fingertips are, and that is good enough for the moment because there's no reflection to shine back at you here to let you see that you're in the flow. Now, something else, rest. Rest. If you can rest at this time, if you need to just put it down and close your eyes for a minute, do that. If the laundry basket is looking crazy, go on ahead and finish that laundry. Or if it's looking at you crazy because it needs to be folded and put away, that's a great activity as well. Put your head where your fingertips are because that's going to be the best reflection you have at this particular time. After that, later in the afternoon, 4 p.m. Mountain Time, we're going to see that Virgo, the moon moves into Virgo. Okay, so now first of all, we've got an active energy again. So it's like I'm back, you know. And it can really feel that way. If you've not experienced a very long void of course moon period and realized that that's what was happening, that you were in it, you thought maybe I just have really high anxiety, I would be curious to see what your experience is with this long void of course moon period, and then how you feel as the moon pops back into Virgo here. Now, as the moon comes into Virgo, we're getting practical, we're getting orderly, right? This energy that may have been scattered wherever it's scattered, Virgo is herding it, putting together, so that it's organized, okay? So that we can move forward, we can make the best of it. We want the best plan, we want the best health, we want the best food. We want it to be something where we can tackle the details of what needs to be done and streamline the process that we are working with. Now, last thing on Friday is we're going to come into the last quarter moon. And this is nice energy because it's the completion of a cycle. First of all, it's part of a lunar family. Okay, so we started something already, and we have been through 3 different iterations of what this energy is. We would have started this back in August of 2022, and now we're just now bringing this cycle to a close. So I want you to go back into your life, back into your chart in August, in the Virgo area of your chart. What were you starting? What were you trying to put out? And now it's built, it's done, it's ready. It's time to receive your kudos. Maybe you're starting to make money off of that thing. Maybe that relationship has really grown. Maybe you officially are ending something, you know, it's done. This is the bow is on it. What is it that you're bringing to a close at this particular time? And I want you to have a moment of celebration, because it also means that you did it. You accomplished something that you called into your life. And now it's just time to turn away from it in a different way and engage it differently. I'm curious to hear what that is for you. I can tell you for me, it was that I built 2 businesses. I actually built 3. One of them I decided at the full moon point I didn't want anymore. So I was able to pivot away from that and open my energy up for the other 2 that came about. So let me know in the comment section down below, what does the last quarter pattern look like for you? All right, Saturday. As we're coming in, we've got Mars in a trine to the North Node in a sextile to the South Node. Now, these aspects are about realignment to the destiny points, realignment to what I'm really here to be doing. And in a trine to the North Node, there's an ease of access to get to it. We're like, there's an opportunity for me to step towards this. And typically, when the North Node gets involved, a person shows up. Someone with a message, with an opportunity, with something like that shows up, and they bring you the information. And you feel like, I've just had a destiny meetup. You're a little bit more inspired to go that direction. But the South Node with Mars there at the sextile is about you are taking action on releasing and letting go of something that doesn't work anymore. It is a relationship that doesn't work anymore. And the relationship can be an old relationship of you to you, with you, how you relate to yourself, with communities you've been a part of, with actual partners, romantic partners or marriages. It can be business partnerships that you are letting go of. And it can also be enemies, open enemies. You knew that you had a problem or an issue with this person, and now you're ready to cut away from it because it doesn't resonate. It's not on the level anymore. And instead, you're going to take action, Mars, going towards that North Node, to you're taking actions to move yourself forward in a way that's more balanced and more healthy. So I'm excited to see what that looks like for you as well. Now we're going to close out the day with another void, of course, moon period. And this is going to pull us all the way into Monday as well. Okay, but this is actually going to be lighting us up on Sunday. I want to be clear about that. Sunday at 10:34 p.m. in the evening, we are going to have that void, of course, moon, and it'll take us into Monday. Okay, and again, next Sunday, we'll talk about it coming into the week next Monday, but give yourself a break. Give yourself some quiet time. We've had some big changes of energies, big shifts of direction. So give yourself a break on Sunday to rest, to do those little tidying up things, to do nothing, and give yourself permission to do nothing and not be judged for that. Do what you need to do on Sunday to be in your best being, okay? All right, my absolutely beautiful friends, check out the new ASMR channel. That was a cool little resource. Get your digital transit calendars. And of course, pop in, check out your 2025 videos, and I'll put links to all that good stuff here and in the description box down below. Bye, everyone.